Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Okay, let me just get this out there. Everything I say is my opinion, mine alone. Please feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. With that, let's get into it. Well, what a surprise. Sanders Kennedy has returned. So, after going AWOL for 8 months, he decides to just sit up. And for anyone who doesn't know the situation, 8 months ago there was some controversy with Shane Dawson, and Sanders was claiming there was an official police investigation going on. What he failed to address was that he had made the complaint to the police and there was no investigation. But not only that, but he also decided to embellish the story a bit more too, by adding a retired police officer into the ranks. So that was interesting. And after a lot of sticks, Sanders Kennedy just completely shut down and disappeared. And yeah, so that leads us up to now, when out of the blue Sanders Kennedy's back, acting like nothing's changed. Everything is just pretty normal. Didn't address the situation in any way. Made it seem like he was taking time off to spend with family, rather than hiding, which is pretty much what he did. And saying that he shut down all of his social media accounts. Do I believe that? I don't know. But things 8 months ago was pretty serious. And pretty insane too. Like, who does that? Who makes a complaint to the police claiming there's victims, when there are none, by the way, then goes onto YouTube and claims there is an official investigation, make it up his own evidence to there being an investigation, and now he's come back hoping people have forgotten all about him. When in reality, that does nothing. So, where do you take it from there? He's back. He's ignoring the situation. And I don't think he will be planning on saying anything. But for now, that's all I can really say. So, let's go on to the next thing I want to talk about. James Charles. How many times? How many warnings? How many people will it take for people to see who James Charles is? 21-year-old making advances and sending filth to a 16-year-old. Last time it was a 14-year-old. Tati Westbrook said about the way he behaves around straight men. And then you have his high school friend. That's really stirred the pot. claiming that whilst James Charles was in high school, he would ask his female friends to get nudes from straight boys. Do I believe it? Yeah, to some degree. But that's just my opinion. Facts, we don't know. Like, does no one find it weird how Tati and James were apparently friends behind the scenes for months before speaking about it? Like, I don't know, that sounds really dodgy to me. But there's the claims that Tati made. There's this voice message recording that claims that James did something to someone. That's about all I know about it. I don't know, but how many people are actually talking about this? How many people are too scared to talk about this because of the Tati Westbrook situation, where people are now too nervous to even address the subject with James? But how many times have we got to be here before the reality is brought? People are willing to go after Shane Dawson for taking a shower. Yet James Charles is the golden boy. The only difference is, if it's true what these boys are claiming, then the only person who's broken any laws is James. Shane may have done some really dodgy stuff, and some of it may be bordering on illegal, but he never crossed that line. He never actually crossed that line. But if these claims are real, then we know for a fact, if they're real, that James has actually gone further than just before the line. He's gone over the line. He's scrapped the line and just bypassed it. So what do you do? Do you keep believing him every time? I come up when you look at these boys, and they are boys. They look like minors, but they also look alike. So he's clearly got a type. And that's where it's concerning. Like, when do we say this is enough? When do we say, no, James, we're not listening to your lies no more? When do we realise ourselves that these stories keep coming? Like, this is just insane. And I'm going to leave it at that until I got more information. So have a great night, everyone.